Okay, well, I made it to the top of Mt. Rosa. Don't know if I was recording. I think I was not. So we'll go back down and yeah, I'll go ahead and talk while I go down. So it's kind of upsetting. A group posted that pictures and stuff, and hey, they did much needed maintenance on Mt. Rosa, this and that. Well, turns out it was just a big circle jerk, because I don't see shit for maintenance, and the few rocks that might have been stacked by them, the few rocks that might have been stacked by them is insignificant. It's no more than I would have done. Definitely wouldn't need a team of people. This trail looks as bad as it's always looked. So I don't know if they received a grant to do the work, which if they did, they should be ashamed of themselves, because we come out here, by we I just mean people that ride Mt. Rosa, and we put in work and we do it for free. I don't know how many times I've repaired the switchbacks, countless times over the years. I don't do it for a thank you or anything. I mainly do it because, well, I ride the trail. And I do it really for myself, to be truthful about it. I mean, let's be honest. That way, when I come back through, maybe the section's not a struggle bus, wheels haven't spun, and you fix some of this erosion and what have you, but I don't see shit that they've done, really. So maybe they have. Maybe it's just washed out or something, but I don't see it. I would have thought I would have noticed things, like at least, where logs were put across so people weren't cutting corners, like the switchbacks coming up. But that's the problem. You question these groups and they get defensive. Why'd you need a grant for that? All the work you did was volunteer. So where did the money go? What's the money being spent on? There's only so many chainsaws, so many pickaxes, so many shovels, etc. that you need. And those stay good for many, many years, So let's say 5 years. And then maybe you say, hey, we've used the chainsaw a lot, we need a new chainsaw, right? Okay, so let's say you go buy a $600, $800, $1,000 chainsaw. Maybe you're buying a few. Okay, that happens every so often. But why as a group do you have to bring in $400,000, $500,000 plus the grant on top of that? So you're getting $400,000 or $500,000 for memberships, and then you're bringing in all this money from the grants. Where does the money from the grants go? Well, it goes for the trail. But you already own the trail dozer. So it goes to your buddy who operates the trail dozer, because you're hiring your buddy. What a sweet job. Where did the old trail dozer go? You bought a new one. Did you really need a new one? For how little you guys use the trail dozer, did you really need to buy a new one for $90,000? And where did the old one go? You sold it. Sold it to who? A friend of a friend, a buddy of a buddy, a sweetheart deal. Where's this money being laundered? I mean, in their tax filings, because when you're a nonprofit, you have the right to nonprofit tax returns. In fact, just type in to a search, whether Google, AI, whatever you want, IRS nonprofit or nonprofits, and you can look up the nonprofit and you can pull their tax returns. And you can see that they claim, well, the board doesn't get pay, but yet they have all these assets, they have all this money, and they get this money yearly, because you can look at each year. Well, what the heck? Why? Why do they have so much money? Why do they need so much money? Where's this money going? Is it going really funneled into the board by other means? I mean, that's what it seems like. That's what it seems like to me. So when I see things like groups that take pictures and claim they came out here and did a bunch of trail work, and then you look and there's no trail work to be seen, to be done, or had been done. And it's just one big circle jerk. Now hopefully they just came out here, volunteered their time, and it wasn't a grant, and they just like did nothing for the money. But it's bad enough that the OHV fund gets robbed by these groups. Oh, it's going to cost, you know, we're going to do this project, it's going to cost $50,000 or $80,000. And there's no reason why it would cost that much to do a lot of these projects. They already own the equipment, like a trail dozer. They own the shovels, they own the trailers, they own the trucks even for the bigger groups that have vehicles. The labor is posted out there for you all to show up and pat yourself on the back that you're doing a great job, and you're not even getting paid. And if there is lunch provided, it's typically provided for by, say, Apex Sports or Performance Cycle, so on and so forth. So where's the money really going? Don't you guys question that? And that's sad that people don't question that, and because I bring this up, I'm gonna get flack, but I don't give a shit. I'm out of the dirt riding. I'll come out, ride from time to time. Oh wait, here's a spot they blocked off. So that was the original route. And so the go around people started making, they decided to keep this. So there's your money at work. They put some twigs. I didn't notice that when I was going up, but coming down much slower, you start seeing things. So I actually went up pretty quick. That's the original line. Aren't we supposed to somewhat stay on the original line? Is that spot right there any harder than any of the other spots? No, it's not. This was the newer spot. This should have been closed off. That should have been left open. I almost want to move those over here, move those over, block this side, and then yeah, you got to go up the original, because that's no harder than anything else. Why would you do away with that? I don't get it. If you made it this far, and you can't make it up that little straightaway, you probably shouldn't be on the trail. Now, look, here's a go around that showed up later on. They didn't close that one off or this one off. They left it, so it's a braided trail. Anyone that's been riding here a while knows what was original and what wasn't. So, close this off, keep it to the original. This is supposed to, Mt Rosa is supposed to be a hard trail. I would even say to the point of, for a lot of people, it's an extreme trail. It's a trail that a lot of people thrive to be able to get good enough to do it. And especially by themselves. I'm by myself. Now here's one of those, you know, what did they do? Well, they didn't block off the go around. I see there's a light go around on the outer side. So there's that now. Eventually that's going to get bad. This is going to get bad. And the idea of like when you block this off is so when rainwater comes, it doesn't go down there and make this worse and take out this whole hill. And time. You can't think about a year or so. You got to think about it in 10, 20 years. It's just going to get worse and worse. So that's why you block off trails. I'm talking about if you're doing this right. That's trail maintenance. This is the only corner I think they actually stacked some rocks. And I hope I got this on video. I don't think I did though. I actually cleared it. It's been a while since I've cleared it, so I was very proud of myself. But anyways, I think this was one of the corners that they kind of did smooth out with more rocks. But we've all been here. We've all smoothed this out. We've never patted ourselves on the back, and we never sat around in a group circle jerking each other because we did this. I'm actually going to walk the bike down. I'm on the electric. I don't want to hurt myself. And this is steep enough. This is one of probably the hardest corners. So, bike's light. Takes me no energy to walk it. But you see, that is going to funnel water. Water's going to come here. This is going to erode out. It's going to get worse here. Did they stack? No, I think these rocks have been here for a while. These boulders have been here, I think, for a while now. Maybe they stack some. But so, okay, this is one area they did something. But again, nothing more than anyone else has done in this area. But like I said, these groups, they come out and they circle jerk each other. Look at us! Look what we did! Ooh, I cut a twig out of the road or trail, so you know, the trail's for everybody. And there's a bunch of us that think that's just hilarious and funny that they do that shit. And again, you got those groups that bring in shitloads of money, pat themselves on the back, take pictures of cutting every little twig off of the trail. Oh, look at us! Oh, we're cutting another branch. Oh, we're cutting this little twig that people can get over. Oh my God! You know, look at us. Look at the social media. Ooh, ooh. And they get all excited about it, and they all jerk each other off over it. It's funny. There's a lot of us that think that's just hilarious. Oh, people are afraid to talk about it, Mark. Yeah, I don't give a shit. I'll see you out there on the adventure bike that I'm getting soon. I'll see you out there on roads, I guess. I'm not going to be hitting these trails as much. I'm getting back into the heart of riding, and the riders that I think were the nicest people were the dual sport / adventure riders. Most of them would give you the shirt off their back. The dirt riders, I don't get that feeling with a lot of them. I'm not saying all of them, of course, because I have some good friends that they love single track, but I think it feels like that's the exception and not the rule. Oh, look. They stacked a couple rocks here. So you don't go that way. No. That's all it's going to take is one person to go over that. That's blown out. Hit that next pile. That's blown out. I mean, a proper way is to get some logs and put the logs across, right? So discourages people. I mean, if you really want to do, you do logs, a bunch of logs, and you anchor the logs with those big long, I forget what they're called, big long screws, you know, for building decks. I mean, the huge ones, the architectural, and you just attach them together. That way, to move them is going to be a pain in the ass. Oh, look at that. Somebody's made a trail that goes from here, instead of doing the corner, goes right on through. Look how worn that is. So they came out here. They might have put some sticks there so you don't go off. But look at this. Now note, the people that came out here, took photos, so they did all this work. They ride this trail all the time because they live locally. They come here all the time. So they could see this and be like, huh, I want to come out tomorrow and I want to fix that. You know, I'm going to make it so it's blocked off. But they don't, because secretly they're the ones that want the easy. So it looks good upon them to come out, move some rocks around, but they're the ones actually using a lot of this cut throughs, secret single track. That's all through Captain Jack's. There's secret stuff everywhere. Oh, I'm not supposed to talk about that. People are going to get mad. I'm not telling you where it's at, but I mean, unless you don't open your eyes, you're going to see it, because it's obvious stuff like this. But I don't mean just cut throughs. I mean, there's actually full-blown huge trail system through this whole area. Hundreds of miles. I know one of the local businesses kind of put a lot of it in. I mean, let's if we really want to talk about it, but you know, I'm not going to say, because that wouldn't be right of me. But I'm just saying, they're hypocrites. They're hypocrites with the money. They get grants for stuff that don't need grants. They're spending money on stuff they don't need to spend it on. And it's not going to the workers. Maybe they should give some to the volunteers versus just begging some business like Performance Cycle to give a lunch or door prizes for events they put on. I encourage you all to go look at their IRS documents. Like I said, nonprofit. That stuff's free to look at. And you can audit it. You can request an audit and get more information. I'm just saying. It does make you wonder. It does bring up a lot of questions of where does $400,000, $500,000 plus grants go per year? No one's going to talk about it because they're taking it in their back pocket. They're putting the money in their pocket. It's a big scam. It's a fucking scam. Now, a lot of littler groups I don't think are that corrupt. I don't think are meaning ill intent on the trail systems, and I think they actually do want to try and do stuff. But there's groups that suck. That's just human nature, right? There's people that suck, and there's groups that are going to suck because those groups have sucky people. There's a lot of small groups that do wonders. They don't typically post out there what they're doing. They're not talking about it. It's just done. You do it because that's just common sense. Oh, hey, this was really rough. We got all stuck here. Let's take a minute and kind of fix this because I know this trail wasn't always like this. It was hard, but it wasn't extreme, And it's always going to now be extreme because it's just what it tore up. When I used to ride Mt Rosa, it was more of a single track than this big wide thing. It's turned into a big wide highway, really, a really rocky highway, but a highway versus that somebody made down. I'm going to actually go down it. You can scream at me, whatever. If you're not going to come out here and block this shit, I'm done trying to figure it out. Because think, if you're a person, even with Coatrex, and you're looking at Coatrex, no matter how good, bad, or map even, they might not know which corner, especially after a while if that gets burned in really well. I don't know. I'm going to go down. Fuck it. Didn't know it was there. Gonna do it now. Yeah, you can tell people have done that a few times at least. And usually that's somebody that's been out here a few times and they see a line and they're like, I'm gonna go do that line. So typically not somebody that has come out here the first time, going off the beam path like that. So that was mainly it. I mean, there's a few spots down here, but they haven't done any trail work really. So like I said, all those photos and pounding of chest on social media was just a bunch of older guys getting together and circle jerking each other out here in the woods. If somebody wants to talk to me about where the money goes when most everything is a volunteer and things are donated and this and that, make me, hey, I have an open mind. Sit down, talk to me, lay it out, and maybe I'll be like, oh yeah, you're right. Okay, there's more behind the scenes than I realized. Hey, I'm sorry. I'm a big enough person to apologize and be like, sorry, didn't realize there was all this behind the scenes. But a lot of us just can't fathom where $400,000 a year goes to. A year. It's one thing if you said, well, we had this big project and we spent $400,000 one year, but year after year on what trails? Definitely not the trails they mainly take care of. That's for sure. Yeah, I mean, that's for sure. Okay, let's say you need a new vehicle. Vehicles are expensive now, so you buy a truck, you go all out, $80,000. Okay, that leaves what? $320,000 out of 400. Okay, let's say you go take another $50,000 and you buy a trailers, new tools like chainsaws and what have you. Hell, that probably even would cover training sawyers and stuff, right? So, you know, at the end of the day, you have what? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so $280,000 left over. Just you bought a new vehicle and a bunch of, you know, equipment. $50,000 on a trailer and a bunch of equipment and some training for some sawyers. So, where do you spend the $280,000? Where is that going? Where is that going? It just doesn't add up. The numbers don't add up when your workforce are volunteers. So you're not spending for people hours. Oh, but we have to pay for so-and-so to run the trail dozer. Okay, that's one person. And even if he's making $100 an hour and he did, you know, $80,000 worth of work that year, which everyone is like, well, where are they using this trail dozer? Because the trails are whooped out more than ever. Yeah, fuck if I know. That's what everyone wants to know. Where are they using this $90,000 trail dozer? It's a bunch of crap, really. Anyways, that's Mount Rosa coming down and me complaining about groups that are thieves, really. My personal belief is they're thieves, and I'm just done with it. I am fucking done with these groups. They are pieces of shit. I have no use for them. I have no need for them. I'll be on an adventure bike. I'll be having fun. I'll just be hitting this stuff once a blue moon. Don't even care. Ridden enough. Don't give a shit. Anyways, later, y'all. And if you're getting into electrics, you're kind of lucky because you're kind of a different subset. And just do what you're going to do. You're quiet. You're stealthy. Ride where you want. Enjoy. Enjoy your life. It's too short to worry about any of this stuff. I used to worry about it. I don't give a shit about it anymore. Have a good one. Bye.